All Israel News viewers, I'm Oriel Moran. This is Levi from Discover Israel Tour with Levi. Levi, where are we and what are we doing here today?
Going today to visit the biblical city of Tel Gezer, which has at least 1,000 years of history before the Bible comes around. We're going to see how the Canaanites lived. We're going to see how King Solomon builds this beautiful, massive city. We're going to turn King Solomon from this wise old prophet into this emperor who you can see builds his country.
That's exciting. Let's go explore everything.
Let's check it out. Hebrew, 3,000 years ago, would have looked something like this. This is a tablet which is recognizing the different agricultural periods of the year in Paleo-Hebrew, the ancient Hebrew which is closer to a Phoenician-style Canaanite Hebrew. One of the oldest Hebrew texts that we have and one of the oldest texts in the world on a tablet was found where I'm standing right now, in Tel Gezer. Tel Gezer is a strategic point based in the middle of the international trade routes going from Egypt to Mesopotamia, and we're at the foothills of the Judean mountains. So during the Empire of Solomon, this would have been a very specific place. Now just to look over here to see what this tablet, this is the actual size of the tablet, what it actually says on this tablet. So we have 2 months of gathering, 2 months of planting, 2 months of late sowing, 1 month of cutting flax, 1 month of reaping barley, 1 month of reaping and measuring grain, 2 months of pruning, 1 month of summer fruits. So if you add all these 2 and 1 months up together, altogether we get 12 months, one of the oldest calendars found in history. Check this out. We are walking right now on the largest Canaanite structure ever found anywhere in the world. A civilization who lived in this region 3,500, 4,500 years ago. So they were the kings, 31 kings, which Joshua ben Nun was required to then conquer, and this was on the list of them. This is Gezer. So how did they live? And what is this structure we're standing on right now? The most important resource in every village was simply the water. It's the source of life. It's the thing that keeps the agriculture flowing. Without it, you last a very short amount of time. So this was a guard tower to protect the one water source of this major city, Gezer. If we look just behind me, over here, we can see the beautiful Valley of Ayalon, where multiple battles happened between the Philistines and Joshua ben Nun and the Canaanites. So this is the valley recognized of where the major battle happens, where Joshua ben Nun actually stops the sun in the middle of the sky, saying, "Hashemesh begivon dom va'yareach be'emek Ayalon." Before us, my friends, is where Ayalon is.
We're walking in to this place which is quite spectacular. And
Wow.
It's crazy. I'm so happy.
A little information about this place. We've just walked into the 4,000-year-old Canaanite city, the city that would have been fortified and then faced the Israelites. So this is what the gate would have looked like. Quite a fortified gate. We have the mud bricks. These ones are reconstructed, but the original mud brick from the 4,000-year-old mud brick is just behind there. This is one of the oldest gates in the world.
Crazy.
That's cool.
Let's explore.
Let's go check out this Middle Bronze Age water channel, a 3,700-year-old water channel, which is now pretty much a bat cave. But let's see these aqua geniuses, what they held up, why they had this tower right next to us. Off we go. We've made it to the bottom of the cave. Very exciting. This is where the water would have risen, probably halfway up this. This would have supplied the whole city with water, and this was so important for them to survive. Are we? Still alive? So I'm standing in a classic Israelite house known as the four-roomed house. These columns would have had cedar wood or relative other wood, and it would have been the roof. It would have been a richest person house. Even though it doesn't seem massive, most people didn't spend most of their lives inside the house. So we have the storage room areas, these two over here. This, I believe, was the kitchen area where we're standing. Maybe this little hole over here would have held a pot, as you can see. And the stables were just on the outside over there when you had the animals. Some of this is reconstructed, but most of it is the original siting of where it is. So where do we see this city in our biblical passages? We spoke about the Canaanites who were inhabitants here, and we spoke a little bit about King Solomon. So let's read it straight from the scripture itself. Kings 1, chapter 9. And it came to pass at the end of 20 years that Solomon had spent building two other houses, the house of the Lord and the house of the king's own house. Hiram, the king of Tyre, supplied Shlomo with the cedar wood, the cypress wood, the gold that he required. In return, Shlomo gave him 20 towns in the Galil. He wasn't so happy about those 20 towns. Nonetheless, Hiram sent the king 120 talents of gold. For the purposes, King Solomon imposed forced labor to build the house of the Lord and his own house, the Milo, and the wall of Jerusalem, Hatzor, Megiddo, and Gezer. It later quotes here that the king of Egypt had marked up and captured Gezer. He burned it down to a fire. He killed the Canaanite inhabitants, as we saw the gate before, and he gifted it as a wedding gift to his daughter, who was married to Shlomo. So once Shlomo then receives this, he then rebuilds it. Very shortly, we're going to see the Solomonic gate. Might and power of King Solomon can be seen before us by this triumphant gate. Look at the size of these stones, pillars on both sides, rooms for guarding, with little passageways coming through the back, a 6-parted gate, so you have 6 different sections of this gate. Each part would have been for, if someone just wanted water, we let him in the first part. If someone wanted to go further in, we'd have to see who he was, and the guards would be standing where I am right now, and we'd write his name down to document who he is, how important he is, or what the significance is. So the greatest gift that Pharaoh, who was interested of making contracts with Israel at that time for Solomon, gave Solomon this city, and Solomon then comes and builds the city to show the might and the importance of his kingdom. This is sitting on the international trade route called the Via Maris. Now, if you want everyone to know that they can come in, but they have to pay a heavy tax, you build mighty cities, and this is the city of King Solomon. Let's go check it out. All right, wow, look at these massive sections where I would have been judged. They got these original benches here where people would have sat. We can see this huge gutter to then wash out all the sewage and gunk. Everything people didn't want from the city would go out through the front gate all the way down into the valley.
The fact of the matter is that King Solomon had his priorities straight, because he didn't ask for the heads of his enemies. He didn't ask for riches. He asked for wisdom to rule. And God gave him all of the rest, right? He gave him peace from his enemies. He gave him riches. And I think it has to do with his surrendered heart. When you have a surrendered heart to want to rule in your responsibilities like God would have you rule, God eventually gives you the rest. So King Solomon was kingdom-minded, and I'm taking that as an incredible example to do the same, so that my priorities can be set straight and God will give the rest. Started running that little hill, and then I come up over it and I see this. Wow.
This huge stone turned upright, otherwise known as a monolith, is here to signify the covenant between two nations. Now we're in Gezer, which was a prominent city in the whole region. Now we know Gezer was somewhat like the capital of the city, and it wanted to get on with all its neighbors. But how do you know that covenant stays there? Well, two nations would come here in the middle. They would erect a huge stone in front of us. They would secure it with smaller stones, and this would be a bonding covenant to make sure that they would never go to war. They had open trade. We are right now in a strategic and an important crossroads between ancient ancient civilizations and ancient trade routes, so it would make sense to have them here. Now, to mark the covenant in blood, they have a little basin here which is thought to have had blood offerings in it, possibly of animals, but also possibly, as we know in the Bible, people would cut themselves. So maybe two of those nations would then cut their hands, shake their hand over here, let the blood drop over there, and then erect one of these stones for a covenant. Now we can count 9 different stones over here. One of them has toppled over. It could be recent, could be historic. Some of them are no longer with us, and so we know that Gezer was the capital who made 9 agreements with other kingsmen or village leaders inside the region.
We're doing a different type of thing here. In the past, they used to slaughter animals for covenants and all types of agreements. We're not going to do that. We have a Ugat Gezer, we have a carrot cake, hence the place that we're at. And we're going to do not a covenant, but a type of agreement between us.
So because it's Tel Gezer, we're going to eat a carrot cake for the significance of the place. And we shall make an agreement and a covenant between me and you to enjoy this moment together.
We enjoy it with Ugat Gezer. Let's go for it.
All right.
Just with our hands.
I'm definitely enjoying this moment.
It's been a spectacular day seeing where our ancestors used to live, how they used to live, who used to live here, when they weren't here, what they would give to each other as gifts. Levi, what are you feeling about this day?
It's awesome just to see the magnitude of history that we have here. Well, one small page of it, let's not waste that page, just write it out and fill it out correctly. And we can come and discover the rest of the pages of this beautiful history book, which is our heritage.
It's amazing, and we hope that you guys join us again. If you want more Israel-related content, go to allisraelnews.com, the notification bell, hit subscribe, and Levi and I will see you in the next one.